Would you encourage phone farming?
There's no such thing called phone farming in farming. Farming is very lucrative.
Are you sure?
Very, very lucrative. You need to study the market trends so that you can know when to grow a crop and how to grow a crop.
I mean, at the end of the day, why is it people look at farming and say it's for old people? I feel like even in schools back then, agriculture was used as a form of punishment.
I think our brains were colonized. You as a farmer, if you go to Mbara with your produce,
Yeah.
you need to have someone there that is familiar with the place. If you just go by yourself, you end up being scammed.
So you looking at farmers or those who want to be farmers, would you encourage phone farming?
Phone farming, there's no such thing called phone farming in farming. There's no such thing. You have to be on ground, or you have someone who can be on ground for you, doing all the practical work. For example, at our company, we have some diaspora farmers that we are working with. We are actually managing their farms here in Zimbabwe, doing all the hands-on whilst they're busy looking for capital abroad.
Oh, so is that not phone farming?
It's not phone farming. I think the term phone farming, people thought maybe it's like, let's say you have a farm.
Yeah.
You just go to the farm and you planted your maize. Then you leave someone there, maybe who's not an expert.
Oh, okay.
Who'll be just telling you you'll be calling him, how's the crop, how's everything. But that person is not an expert.
Oh.
You see, yeah.
Oh, so in your case, you manage people's farms and they're in the diaspora. You guys, you're here on the ground.
We are here on the
You
ground.
are professionals. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, we have a team of farm managers that is stationed at different farms so that they can do all the hands-on managing the projects under the supervision of the company. Yeah.
Okay. So how is it working with the diasporians?
With the diasporians? So far, I think we have more than 12 farms that we are running, and 80% of those farms belongs to diasporians. Some Canada, Australia, and many more. Okay. So most of them actually met online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually met online. They just started to talk to us. We actually explained to them what we offer.
Okay.
Then they were interested. I think we've been doing this for quite some time now, for about 3 years so far, working with diasporians. We have other clients that we are working with. We now have a relationship with them because we have something like 2 years working with them. For those 2 years, we've been growing different crops for them on their behalf.
What are crops I should focus on as a farmer in horticulture?
Horticulture?
From your own perspective as an agronomist.
Okay, I would say every crop pays well, but you need to know when to grow it. Like what we were discussing, we were saying if you do horticulture during rain season,
yes,
it pays well.
Timing.
You need to know the market trends. Don't just copy your neighbor. If you see your neighbor doing tomatoes, then you say, let me go ahead and also plant tomatoes. If you actually go ahead and plant tomatoes like your neighbor, you actually create a flooded market. Then you'll be frustrated later on when you're now selling maybe your tomatoes at $3 a sandak.
So it's a mistake.
So it's a mistake. So you have to, there's a thing that is called farmland use planning and mapping.
That is like one of your services that you offer.
That's one of our services.
Can you explain the services that you offer?
Okay, so for example, you have purchased you have a land that you've just purchased. What we actually do, we do what we call farmland use planning and mapping, whereby our team of experts, we have agronomists and some GIS team. We visit your farm, then we do some different data collection. Then we actually draft a land use map, which is a map of your farm, with some different farming projects that can be done on the farm. So this map will actually come with project proposals, surface land analysis maps. We also provide topographical maps, project proposals, budgets, projections, underground water map, and also soil fertility map.
So when I'm looking at farming, honestly, other people say that Zimbabwe is a hard environment to do business as of now. From your own perspective, how lucrative is farming in Zimbabwe right now?
Farming is very lucrative.
Are you sure?
Very, very lucrative. It's very lucrative, man. Why?
Yeah.
You have a lot of people that needs to be fed.
Yes. People eat every day.
People eat every day. Yes, there are risks.
Yeah.
People think farming is easy, but farming is not easy. There are risks that comes with farming. So I meet a lot of a lot of our clients, they'll come to us and they'll say, I have my $5,000 and I want to do farming. I would say to him, no, if you're 5,000, let's invest 3,000.
Oh, okay.
Let's invest 3,000. Why? Because farming is a risk. There are a lot of unforeseen costs that will actually come when you're not growing, when you're not doing your project.
Okay.
Yeah, and you actually fail at some times, not every time. If you ask every successful farmer anywhere in the world, they once failed. It's normal in farming. So if you're someone who don't want to fail or who's afraid to fail, don't invest in farming.
It seems like, for me, what I've noticed from the conversation that I'm having with you, it seems like most of the people that reach out to you who want you to manage their farm or who want your help, they sort of like want to do it big. They don't want to experience the small steps.
Yeah, they come to us, but what we advise them is let's start small. As small as 1 hectare, then we grow from there.
But them, specifically them, they want to do...
They want to just wake up big. It's not practical. It's not practical in farming. In farming, you need to start small.
Yeah.
Then you yourself as a client,
Yes.
you actually be learning some of the things. Of course, you'll be having us as experts who will be guiding you so that you can understand some of the principles of farming. Yeah.
So one of the things that I've recognized now as a content creator in Zimbabwe, working with farmers, is that a lot of people are being scammed. It could be bore drilling, it could be anything, as long as it has to do with farming. How best can we solve that situation?
It can be solved because there are a lot of scammers around the world, around Zimbabwe. Some of them, they are when you're seeing them, they're actually a proper company, but they're scamming people.
Oh,
Yeah, from bore drilling. So I think a farmer needs to understand first, when he wants to do farming,
yes.
he needs to understand the right steps to take and to avoid shortcuts.
Avoid
For example,
shortcuts.
And avoid shortcuts. If you do shortcuts, you'll be scammed. For example, let's say you drill a bore.
Yeah.
After you drilling your bore, I've met some of the clients that I've met. Like for example, there's one client. He actually drilled a bore at his farm.
Yes.
After drilling a bore at his farm, he was actually given a quotation for installing a solar pump and etc. without doing capacity testing.
What is capacity testing?
You need to know how much water is in the bore.
Oh.
So when he now hired us to do the farm management, we asked him for capacity test report. He said, I didn't do capacity test. How come? We need to know how much water is in the bore. So when we ended up doing capacity test, we noticed that the bore was dry. He actually had to drill another bore. You see?
That's a loss.
That's a loss. You now have to drill another bore. You're also installing another solar pump and irrigation again. Another solar pump, I mean. So that's a lot. So you need to avoid shortcuts. You need also to work with experts who can guide you.
Oh.
Yeah, if you work with experts like us, we'll be telling you, okay, you've managed to drill your bore. The next step, do this. Do capacity test. Do this so that you avoid mistakes.
I've been told that there is an issue with middlemen. How big is it, in Zimbabwe?
That one is it's a big issue, but we can't solve it, unfortunately.
We can't.
I don't think we'll be able to solve it.
So it seems like the farmer do all the work, and then out of nowhere the middlemen came.
The middlemen came. For example, the middlemen are the ones who owns, let's say, for example, if you go to Mbare Musika right now, if you go to Mbare Musika, they own all the place in Mbare.
Middlemen.
Middlemen. They own the place. So they'll actually come to your farm. Let's say you've done your cabbages. They'll actually come to your farm and just say, okay, I'm going to buy your cabbages at $1 for 6. Maybe at Mbari they're selling at $1 for 2. So they'll just, as a farmer, you don't have transport. Maybe you've used all of your money in investing in that project.
Yeah.
Right. You no longer have the money maybe for transport to go to the market. So we end up just selling to him $1 for 6 because you just want money.
You have no choice.
You have no choice.
So, my question now, I feel like, is there anything that we can do? Probably, let's say, create a space where farmers just come and sell their products by themselves. Do you think it's possible?
That's what they wanted to do by Mbari Musika.
Oh,
So that they will allow farmers from all around Zimbabwe
Yeah.
to come and sell their produce. But it's not happening.
it's not easy.
It's not easy. Why? Mbari, there are scammers in Mbari itself. You as a farmer, if you go to Mbari with your produce,
Yeah.
you need to have someone there that is familiar with the place.
Ah,
If you just go by yourself, you end up being scammed all of your produce. So you need to have someone who's well known of Mbari, who's well known of the principles of Mbari, so that you can sell your produce without having any issues. Because by yourself, you will just come back by yourself without the produce, without any money.
what makes people to fail in farming from your own perspective?
What makes people to fail in farming is lack of planning.
Lack of planning.
Lack of planning. That's one of the major reasons that people fail in farming. Why? You will find a farmer, like for example, like what I've told you before. He wants to do tomato because the neighbor is doing tomato. Or he wants to do tomato because he saw on social media
Yes.
that tomatoes were paying.
It's selling, yeah.
No, you don't do that. In farming, you need to plan. You need to have a proper plan. You need to study the market trends so that you can know when to grow a crop and how to grow a crop. Yeah. For example, we're coming into winter right now, right? We're coming into winter, and there are a lot of crops that can be done in winter. Yeah, that are actually resistant to frost. For example, cabbages.
Cabbages.
For example, cabbages. That's the season for cabbages. Winter. That's the season for cabbages.
So you should know those basics
Yeah.
as a farmer.
So every farmer is going to do cabbages in winter. That's why you find every year, each and every year, we actually have flooded market of cabbages around winter.
Okay. So I want to ask, like around winter, is there like an alternative that I can focus on? Let's say, not cabbage, focus on something that people want.
Yeah, a lot of crops they are vulnerable to frost. So there are some areas here in Zimbabwe that are frost free.
Oh.
So if you go to those places and you do your off season, you actually make it. But you see, it's actually taking a risk again. You're actually taking a risk.
Yeah, true.
Because there are some places that are well known of being a frost free area. Yeah, and I know a lot of farmers that are doing it. They actually evacuate from, maybe they were doing tomatoes in Marondera.
Yes.
They actually, when it's winter, they will move from Marondera and they go to areas such as Banket to do tomatoes, because it's frost-free area. But it's also taking a risk. You never know what happens.
Yes.
It's weather.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to look at potatoes. Like, how is the business of potatoes in Zimbabwe?
But I think that's one of the most lucrative crop in Zimbabwe. People love potato.
Yeah, people love potato.
love
Is it not hard to work with?
I don't see that shape on it.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm an agronomist, but I don't see that thing about it. Yeah.
So,
but it is capital intensive.
Capital intensive.
Potato are capital intensive. Unlike other crops like tomato, cabbages, potatoes are capital intensive. But worth it.
It's worth it.
But worth it.
It pays.
Pays very well. For example, the last project we did in Kwekwe for one of our clients, we invested something about $5,000 to do a hectare of potato.
A hectare.
A hectare of potato. And we were selling our potatoes at around $8 per pocket. And we got a gross income of around $11,000.
$11,000.
We were paying very well. That was, I think, a month ago.
11,000.
11,000.
So it pays, eh?
Pays very well. It was rain season again, so it was off season. So we managed to.
You took a risk.
We took a risk. There's money in risk taking, my brother. There's money in risk taking.
Oh my God. So you looking at yourself as someone who manages people's projects, people's farms. Have you ever experienced a huge loss whilst managing someone's project?
Yeah, a lot. We have experienced some different losses. For example, that farmer I was telling you about, the potato. We did at first last year we did cabbages, and the cabbages was a total loss.
Total loss.
Yeah, we actually realized later that the seedlings were struck by DBM.
What is that?
It's a disease.
Okay.
It's a pest. So the cabbages won't do heading.
Oh.
Won't do heading. So yeah, we did a loss. That was a big loss. That was a big loss. But our client didn't give up. He said, okay, no problem. Let's go ahead and do another project. Then we did potato. We ended up making money.
So in farming, you need to have a thick skin.
Thick
Need to be
skin.
strong.
Thick skin. If you're weak, don't do farming. If you're weak, don't do farming. Don't do farming. Don't do farming.
I want to.
In farming again, it's capital intensive.
Farming is capital intensive.
It's capital intensive.
I want to look at the issue of land, rural land.
Rural land, yeah.
It seems like everyone is going back to the rural areas, but I fear probably maybe we might be doing it wrong. But you, as someone who is into farming, maybe you know a thing or two. Do you think that would you encourage people to buy rural land?
Yeah, if there's a chance, go ahead and buy rural land.
Okay,
That's the plot.
that's
I always say to people, you're actually saying I want a farm, but you have your rural land which is lying idle there.
exactly.
Utilize that one and do production.
So my other question is: would you encourage someone to buy land or rent when it comes to farming,
Buying is proper.
especially when they're starting?
I think buying is okay.
Buying is
If
okay.
you get maybe your land, maybe it's title deed land, I think that will be one of the good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but if your pocket is not permitting you to do that, I think you can just opt for renting.
Okay.
Land is cheap in Zimbabwe, my brother.
Land is cheap, eh?
Land is cheap. You can just rent, and there's a lot of land lying idle, waiting for you to come and rent.
Have you ever thought that one day what you did at school would really pay off? And when you were doing this degree back then, were you looking at it as something that can uplift you?
I think me doing agronomy, I think it was something like a calling.
Okay.
Growing up in high school, I never wanted to do agronomy.
Oh.
Yeah, but I ended up doing it. So when I was doing agronomy now at college, I knew maybe God is preparing something for me.
Exactly.
And by the time we actually did agronomy,
Yeah.
there was a stereotype that says farming is for old people.
Exactly.
Farming
That is why I
is
asked.
old-fashioned.
Exactly.
So we were just doing it. I was just saying, oh, let me just do it. I'll just see when we graduate how are we going to cope up with the industry. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, why is it people look at farming and say it's for old people? I feel like even in schools back then, agriculture was used as a form of punishment.
Yeah.
Those who do wrong things at the school, they were sent to the farm or to the garden. Why is it that people, when they look at agriculture, why is it people are looking at agriculture like that?
I think our brains were colonized. We were colonized. We were made to believe that farming does not pay. We were colonized, which was not the truth. The truth is actually farming pays well. Farming really pays. So people thought that maybe if you are doing farming, you just have to do it subsistence way, whereby you just farm to feed your family. No one knew that you could do farming for business, to make money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at farming, what are the mistakes that people are making?
One of it is timing. You have to know when to grow a certain product for you to make money and how to grow it. For example, we can say during rain season,
Yes.
if you do horticulture during rain season, it's off season. That's why you find out
It's off season.
it's off season because it can be attacked by various diseases and pests. So if you end up doing horticulture,
Yes.
you actually realize it pays very well. For example, right now, if you check the prices for tomatoes
Yes.
and for cabbages, for example, tomatoes are selling at about $20 a sundag, which is a lot for a farmer. But there are problems that comes with doing horticulture in rain season, like diseases.
Okay.
You have to be a farmer who actually knows, who actually prepares a tight spraying calendar for you to prevent those pests and diseases.
So what I want to understand, you're saying that horticulture in the rain season is
It's off season.
off season, and those who are capable of doing it now,
They make money.
they can make good money.
They can make good money.
Do you think it's a good idea for someone to do horticulture this time,
It's actually
from your own perspective?
like right now.
Yes.
Rain season is about to end right now.
Let's say it's during rain season. Would you encourage someone?
I'll actually advise most of our clients. Will actually advise them to do off season, but I also tell them the risk that comes
Okay.
with doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, if the budget to do maybe a budget to grow tomatoes is about $3,000.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it in rain season, it can surpass that. You can go up to
Oh.
4,500. 500. Why? Because you use a lot of chemicals. You use a lot of fungicides, a lot of pesticides that you have to spray. So the budget actually go beyond.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to be prepared. You might end up losing a crop. If you lose your crop, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I want you to explain your services to people
Okay.
in detail.
So basically, what we are doing is we are promoting the concept of smart farming.
Smart farming.
Yeah, we're helping aspiring farmers, we're helping diaspora farmers, we're helping young farmers to do production whilst they're busy doing other things. Because we understand that a lot of people now wants to do farming.
Yes.
So we start by helping them from planning. We're helping do like the land use planning and mapping.
Yeah.
Our team will visit your farm. We do some different data collection. We draft the land use map with some different project proposals, budgets, projection. We do soil testing and analysis. So after you receive that package, you'll now be in a position to tell which project do you want to start with. Our team will also help you to manage the project. If you already have your farm manager, we can work with your farm manager doing consultancy, what we call party-time farm management,
Okay.
whereby we actually plan for you. Then we actually create some working calendar for your team. Then our agronomist will be working with your farm manager. You'll be doing some weekly farm visits to go to supervise and see whether everything is working properly. We can also do full-time project management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we also have some farm managers that we have at our company. We can just give you a farm manager who will be working under our company to do production under our supervision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have other services like crop drone spraying. Yeah, and crop analysis using the drone technology and the GIS technology.
Oh, okay. So, guys, you've heard it for yourself. If you need their services, just make sure to get in touch with them. Their contacts, you can see them on your screen. And as of now, it's goodbye.